Is Game Pass getting more expensive? If you haven't scored a Series X yet, check out this hack. And is the Series S already trash? Let's discuss. So last week, Dying Light 2 came out, which is an open world survival zombie game, and everyone seems to love it. People seem to be having a grand old time with it. There have been a few bugs, a few connectivity issues, a few server issues on Techland's part, but overall, people seem to really like it. So over on the Series X and on the PS5, you have a couple choices. You have quality mode, which is 4K 30 FPS. You have performance mode, which is 1080p and 60 FPS, and you have ray tracing, which offers you the ray tracing and 30 FPS. Now, when you picked up the Series X or the PS5, you were probably not envisioning yourself playing games at 1080p, 30 FPS, 60 FPS anymore. You're probably hoping to get that next gen boost, 4K, 60 frames per second, ray tracing, all the bells and whistles. 1080p, that's kind of disappointing, right? Over on the Series S, you only have one choice though, and that is 1080p, 30 FPS. That's it. If you want anything else, sorry. And of course, that is super disappointing, right? For a next-gen console to be locked into such paltry resolution and frame rates. You know, it's not ideal. As we all know, the Series S is the less powerful version of the Series X, but historically, it has been able to run games at a pretty decent resolution and a pretty decent frame rate. As much as 120 frames on games like Halo Infinite and Doom, I think supports that on the Series S as well. So obviously, Series S owners are disappointed in that. And there are also some really weird issues going on with some people having motion sickness playing the game because of the motion blur and things like that. This led the lead designer for Dying Light 2 to take to Twitter and respond to some of those claims. And he basically blamed the Series S for everything. He says, "We're fixing the co-op issues first. The demand broke Sony, Microsoft, Epic servers. Motion sickness will be addressed in the first upcoming patch. FOV and motion blur will be considered for the next. 30 FPS on Series S will be looked at, but the console's GPU is holding us back." Now, I feel like the Series S, it's an easy punching bag, right? It's easy for people to, whenever they have problems with their game, say, "Oh man, we couldn't do anything because look at how crappy the Series S is. It's just holding us back, man." Now, I'm not saying that it's not challenging to optimize a game for each separate consoles, but I'm saying that people have done it in the past quite successfully. Forza Horizon 5, it runs beautifully on each Xbox console, no matter what it is. Via smart delivery, it downloads the best version of the game to your console, and it's seamless. It works pretty well. Now, I might be jumping to conclusions here. He might just be talking about the Series S specifically. I don't know if they're going to be able to push it past a higher resolution, higher frames, but I feel like some people are going to take this and be like, he's saying that the Series S is to blame for all the console optimization issues. Also, at the end of the day, 1080p, 30 FPS, even though it's not like the lofty next generation specs that we were all dreaming of, it's still not bad. It's not the worst. I mean, on previous gen consoles, I'm pretty sure it runs at 800p, so it's a whole lot better than playing on a last gen console. I think as we go along in this new generation, we're just kind of spoiled and we have our expectations super high. We want 4K, 120 frames if it can do it, and that's just, for the Series S, that's just not possible. But it also wasn't made for that, right? I'm still a fan of the Series S, but we are starting to see some of the technical limitations as some of these bigger next-gen games come out. Speaking of optimization issues, Diablo 3 on the Series X for a while now has had this really annoying issue going on. So the Diablo series is one of my all-time favorite franchises. When I was growing up, I played the crap out of Diablo 2. When Diablo 3 came out, played the crap out of that, played the expansions as well. And Diablo 3 was really cool because it was the first kind of PC multiplayer game that made the jump to consoles and did it successfully. Overall, I really think Diablo 3 did a really great job with its offerings, with continuing to support the title with awesome DLC like Reaper of Souls and adding new classes and things like that. Overall, it has people really hyped for Diablo 4 whenever that comes out. But on the Series X, there is this kind of annoying issue where if you play Diablo 3 on the Series X, you're playing the backwards compatible Xbox One S version, which means that you're playing it at 1080p. Again, with the optimization issues. And as we all know, the Series X is capable of much, much more, especially when you take into account that Diablo 3, it's already like 10 years old at this point. And just saying that right now, the fact that it came out 10 years ago, I remember literally playing it on my MacBook my sophomore year of college, blowing off like all my midterms and things like that just to play this game, playing through with my witch doctor, playing through with my demon hunter. It was good times. And this issue with the resolution, it was strange, right? Because on the Xbox One X, they run the game at 4K 30 FPS. So somehow in this weird, bizarre twist, the last generation version of the Series X was running it better than the Series X itself. So a Reddit thread popped up saying that, hey, this issue has been fixed. Yes, let's all throw a party and play Diablo 3 again. Although it is sort of true, it was later removed because it hadn't been implemented yet. The post said, for anyone who didn't know, since the Series X release last year, Diablo 3 has been running on the Xbox One S version instead of the One X version. Blizzard devs have been tweeting all year that they were working on a fix, but time and time again, nothing happened. Even lead Xbox dev got involved at one point. Well, it seems Diablo 3 has been quietly fixed. Yada yada yada, yada yada yada. Adam Fletcher himself actually responded to this and said, this isn't fixed, but we have a fix, and it will be in the next season. So while it is disappointing that we have to wait a little bit for the next season to start to see this graphical improvement, at least we know that it's coming. Now this is pretty cool because over on PC, it never got controller support even after the console versions were released and it was sort of built into the game already. So this will make, if you are used to controller, used to console playing, probably the best place to play Diablo 3 and experience it for the first time. And if in these past 10 years you have not played Diablo 3, if you've not picked it up, tried it for yourself, I highly recommend it. I even played through it with my wife, and we had a great old time. It's a great co-op experience, and it's just chaotic and madness in the best way, right? So restock news regarding the Xbox Series X has been kind of slow lately. It's been a little bit quiet in these past couple weeks, but people have found this trick on the Best Buy app called the toggle trick, wherein it allows them to buy canceled orders for Series X consoles. So this first made the rounds, like a lot of things do, on Discord and Twitter. And basically what people are doing is that they're downloading the Best Buy app, they're searching for Series X and searching which Best Buy stores near them have availability. And then they're toggling this little feature that reads in stock at blank store. You may need to toggle it a couple of times in order for it to show actual results, but people have been posting about how they have successfully bought a Series X in this weird toggle trick way. So reports are actually suggesting that units that pop up after you toggle this are canceled orders. People who placed an order for the Xbox and said, nah, never mind, and canceled it. So you're gonna have to go into the store and talk to the people at the store. You're gonna have to be social for it just a little bit and ask, hey, is that unit available for purchase? And nowadays you have to be really careful about that, right? I know a lot of people who have placed an order for these next-gen consoles showed up to the store and only to find out, oh, sorry, we actually sold your unit. Whoops, my bad. It happened to my friend Rich, it happened to some of my followers on Twitter, they told me about it. That's just painful, right? So you gotta be extra careful when you're trying this trick. You don't wanna steal a console that is meant for someone else by accident, because you never know what kind of pain that will cause. Other than that, if you aren't having any luck using this toggle trick, the only other online stock available right now is at Walmart, and that's via their All Access program. If you don't know what the All Access program is, it is a program which allows you to pay for your Xbox Series X or S via a monthly payment rather than putting down all that cash right then and there. Now, if you don't know what the All Access program is, it's actually pretty cool. It is a plan where you pay $34.99 a month for an Xbox Series X and Game Pass Ultimate. If you were to do it separately, buy the Xbox and pay for Game Pass Ultimate over 2 years, it comes out slightly more expensive. I think you end up saving $20 on the All Access program than you would if you bought it separately. I mean, something like this would have been awesome when I was a kid. I mean, it would have avoided me trading in every single console I own just to subsidize the new purchase I was gonna make for these next-gen consoles. It's also available at other retailers too, like Target. So if you don't have any luck at Walmart, you can check out some of the other big retailers and they probably have the All Access program. And if all else fails, I'm doing a giveaway myself. I have a link down in the description below with instructions on how you can win your very own Series X from Old Ray. So whether or not Game Pass is going to hike up its prices has been the subject of some scrutiny for a long time now. Over a year ago, Phil Spencer said, "Hey, we like the value of Game Pass. I think it matches what we offer. We're not going to raise it anytime soon." But in the wake of Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard, again, questions are swirling around. People are saying, oh man, now that they have Activision Blizzard, they're going to add all these big franchises like Call of Duty to Game Pass, and it's going to raise the price up. In a recent interview that we sort of talked about in another video, he tried to downplay those fears, and he was talking about the future of Xbox, how he wanted Starfield to be the most played game ever, and bring Candy Crush to a whole new audience. He said, "I feel like I can't prove this negative. People ask, when is the Game Pass price going to go up? They're buying all these studios, you know, it's inevitable." Even though it's been, what, now 4 years, we haven't raised it, but it's like, you know it's coming. When they are number one, they're gonna start doing all those exclusive deals that, like, you know, Xbox has history. And all I can do is make the decisions that are in front of us and try to be explicit about what our goals are. Microsoft is operating Game Pass at a loss. They're trying to build a really big subscriber base, and as they add these new titles, as they continue to grow the service, they hike the price up. That's when they're gonna hike the price up. You know, it's not ideal. No one likes paying more money for their subscriptions, especially in a world where you probably have like 5, 6, 7, 8 different subscriptions to different entertainment services. I mean, chances are you're probably mooching off of your friend's Netflix, your friend's Hulu password, HBO. I used to mooch off of my friend's HBO Go password so I can watch Game of Thrones. And that's always a really funny mentality, right? You know, we want these anime to have the best, most amazing animation that we've ever seen, but so many people, they don't want to pay for that, right? And then they wonder like, oh man, why are these studios struggling to put out like a top tier product when they're not paying for it? You know, I feel like still has a lot to prove. I personally very much enjoy the service, and I love my perks that I get with Game Pass Ultimate. The fear is that as Microsoft continues to consolidate these IPs, these studios, these publishers, and they add it to Game Pass, they jack up the price, that they start offering a worse product because there's no competition. And that's where the fear comes from of, oh, Xbox is a monopoly. And again, I really feel like Microsoft is under a lot of pressure, a lot of scrutiny. Now, I know Microsoft, they're fully grown, big corporation, billions of dollars. They don't need someone like little old Ray to come to their defense, and I'm not doing that. But I feel like they're under a lot of pressure, a lot of scrutiny to get things right. If they make even one misstep that seems like they're trying to consolidate, discourage competition, then it's going to be like, all guns are on them. So we're starting to sort of see a clash of like, oh my gosh, I want everyone to play this game, Phil as the gamer versus the executive trying to make a business decision that funnels more customers to his business, to his platform. And they really have to be careful with this kind of stuff. They're towing some, I don't know, they're towing some pretty dangerous stuff here with the Activision Blizzard thing. You know, the hope is, as someone in the Xbox community, that Microsoft turns around some of the really terrible business practices that came to light in Activision Blizzard. So that's something that we have to be aware of as gamers. We can say, yes, Microsoft making this acquisition, it's amazing, but there's always some other layers to it that we have to be aware of, that we have to be sensitive of. Anyway, guys, that's all the news I have for today. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Ray. I would very much appreciate it if you went on over to Twitter and followed me at StayXboxReady. That is hands down the best way to get into contact with me if you have any questions regarding what you see on the channel or you just want to chat. Again, my giveaway is live. It's down in the description below with a link that has instructions on how you can win your very own Series X. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.